Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we're jumping right into the hero's journey of, well, a pretty unlikely protagonist. We're talking about Rot, the mutant potato. Created by author Ben Clanton, Rot goes on these two really distinct adventures that just beautifully map out exactly how we handle both external fears and our own internal doubts. So, let's look at how a humble, muddy vegetable can actually teach us a literal masterclass in courage and authenticity. So, here's the hook. Can a mud-loving mutant potato genuinely be the bravest and cutest hero in the entire world? Normally, when we picture a traditional hero, we're thinking shining armor, maybe a cape, right? And when we hear cute, our brains immediately go to fluffy little bunnies. So the core mystery we're unpacking today is how a character who just completely defies every single one of those conventions manages to conquer both literal, physical monsters and, frankly, heavy societal expectations.
Section 1. Meet Rot the Mutant Potato.
So, what exactly makes a mutant potato tick? Well, Rot has this incredibly joyful, just unapologetic baseline personality. Like most mutant potatoes, obviously, he absolutely loves mud. We're talking yelling cannonball and diving right in. He eats marvelous muck, he plays checkers, always proudly shouting "King me," of course, and he is a fierce competitor when it comes to staring contests. Rot just loves his life. He loves exactly who he is, and there's zero hesitation or self-doubt in his day-to-day existence. In fact, his love for his muddy lifestyle is downright poetic. As he famously puts it, "Mud between my toes, mud in my nose, mud is great wherever it goes." It's just a fantastic illustration of a character in complete, total harmony with his environment. He's entirely at peace, totally ready to plunge into the most magnificent, massive, messy mud pit ever. But as with all great stories, that piece is about to take a hit. Section 2. Facing the Mud Monster. Literally right as Rot is about to dive into his beloved mud, his big brother, Snot, yells, "Watch out." Snot introduces this absolutely terrifying external threat called the Squirm. He describes it as this slippery, slimy, crimey, gross, and constantly hungry monster, living deep down in the mushy muck. So suddenly, that mud, not a place of joy anymore. It's a place of severe danger. Snot tells Rot, "Hey, don't be a scaredy spud." But the truth is, Rot is genuinely petrified.
So how does our hero cope with this? Well, he tries to literally manufacture some courage by creating these escalating superhero personas. Step 1, he tries being Super Spud. But he feels like that's just not enough protection. Step 2, he upgrades to Sir Super Rot, the brave and bold knight. Definitely better, but he realizes pretty quickly he needs something that isn't afraid to get dirty. Which brings us to Step 3, the ultimate, totally ridiculous mashup, Sir Super Rot, the Pigtato.
And this gives us what is probably one of the best punchlines ever. "I'm kind of a pig deal." Snot tells him he looks ridiculously silly. But honestly, when Rot looks in the mirror, he feels ridiculously awesome. He feels like the bravest spud in the world. The really crucial point here is that Rot uses this awesome, totally absurd mashup costume to literally put his brave face on. He marches right up to that mud pit, fully ready to tell the Squirm to scram. But wait, here's where we get a massive twist. Rot is fully expecting to face this terrifying, ravenous monster, right? Instead, something moves in the muck, and out pops a friendly, tiny little worm, literally named Worm. Rot realizes in a split second that his brother Snot completely made the whole thing up just to keep the mud pit for himself. The giant scary monster, a total fabrication. However, just as Snot is gloating about pulling off this trick, it completely and spectacularly backfires. A real Squirm, like an actual giant monster, suddenly bursts out of the mud and is literally about to eat Snot. And what does Rot do? Does he run away? No way. He declares, "Never fear, I'm already here." And alongside his trusty new sidekick Worm, Rot genuinely steps up and saves his brother. The courage he was trying to manufacture with his pigtato costume actually became real courage right when it mattered most. Section 3. The Cuteness Contest Conflict. So, Rot's second big adventure kicks off when he spots a sign for a Cutest in the World contest. Now, initially, his confidence is absolutely off the charts. He is so certain he's going to win this thing that he literally marches in singing his own victory song. "I'm the cutest in the world, the cutest in the world." He has zero doubt about his own worth. But that supreme confidence takes a massive hit the exact second he actually looks around the room.
Because let's take a look at the competition here. We've got Rot, our mutant potato, going head-to-head against some incredibly traditional standards of cuteness. There's an itty-bitty baby bunny with fluffy floppy ears. There's a cuddly kitten wearing a bewitching blue skirt, and an eeny-weeny pink and peppy jolly jellyfish. The other contestants? They take one look at Rot and immediately declare him hideous, complaining that he hurts their adorable eyes. So suddenly, Rot is the ultimate underdog. He's faced with this harsh reality of societal expectations telling him that he simply does not fit in.
So what's a mutant potato to do? Well, just like he threw on a pigtato costume to face a physical threat, he tries to throw on a costume to face the social threat. He goes through a full-blown crisis of identity. Step 1, fake bunny ears. Look, I look like you. Yeah, no. Step 2, he tries on these fake kitten whiskers, but they are incredibly itchy and the others just tell him he looks ridiculous. Step 3, he tries turning pink like the jellyfish, which leads to the hilarious question, are you pinking or happy? The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that none of this works. Trying to be someone else is just uncomfortable, itchy, and totally unnatural.
Section 4, the power of being yourself.
And that brings us right to the thematic climax of our explainer. How does Red actually resolve this massive internal conflict when every single attempt to conform has completely failed? Well, he makes a profoundly brave choice. He decides, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. Even as the other contestants are whispering that he doesn't stand a chance, saying it takes guts to go out there looking the way he does, Rut steps onto that stage anyway. He struts his stuff, he shows his best side, and he smiles his biggest, most genuine mutant potato smile. He stops trying to be a bunny or a kitten, and he fully embraces just being Rut. And the result? Drum roll, please. The judges are absolutely blown away. They declare, and I quote, "Rot is the cutest in the world. I think I'm in love. He's perfect." Much to the utter shock and sheer disgust of the fluffy and cuddly contestants, Rot is handed a giant, shiny trophy. And when he looks into its reflection, he isn't seeing a bunny or a jellyfish anymore. He sees the cutest mutant potato in the world. He wins the whole thing not by conforming, but by doubling down on his own unique authenticity.
And this brilliantly brings us to what we're calling the Mutant Potato Masterclass. By looking at these two stories side by side, we pick up some genuinely amazing lessons. First step, true bravery. It comes from facing your fear. And it is completely okay if you need a pigtato costume, like a mental shield or a silly persona, to take that first really scary step into the mud. Second, trying to change yourself to fit traditional molds or societal expectations is literally always going to feel uncomfortable and itchy. And third, unapologetic authenticity is absolutely your greatest superpower. When you stop trying to be someone else, you finally allow your true perfect self to shine through. So I really want to leave you with this thought today. We all have our own versions of the mud monster, right? And we all inevitably face rooms full of harsh judges that try to make us feel like we just don't belong. So next time you face a squirm in your own life or a harsh judge demanding you fit into a certain mold, are you going to hide or are you going to unleash your inner mutant potato? Seriously, embrace your mud, throw away those itchy fake whiskers, and be bravely, wonderfully yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep strutting your stuff.